And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. You hear Maverick still chewing. I thought I timed it well enough. It's 5:36 p.m. on a Friday night. This is episode 362. I fed him. I poured the food. I bought two new. Well, hold on. Because I'm a part of this, if you buy food, if you buy certain food, that's a little expensive, from a local pet food store. A lot of the expensive food has buy programs where every 12 bags you get a free bag. Last week we went in, me and Maverick and I went in, and they're like, your next bag is free. And I was like, I'm so fucking excited. It's going to save me money. But then I thought, I should just buy another bag so that I could be a bag and change ahead, because I had some change of food. So I went in, and I've quite frankly, every time I do this 12 bag free thing, I always get the most expensive one. I get the most expensive one they have there. It's either going to be venison. Today we have lamb and pumpkin. It's Pure Vita dog food. I go in, and I immediately just book it I don't have Maverick with me because I'm trying to get this done before work. Supposed to be work at 10. I was at the pet food store at 10:35. Don't tell my bosses. It was a quiet day. Anyway, I book it for the dog food. I look up and I see there's rabbit this time. There's lamb. There's venison. Usually they only have venison. And I said, I'm going to get this boy lamb. And then I get him an extra bag, which is just turkey. And I know the people that own the store. I go, hey, I want the free bag to be the expensive one. And they go, we're not sure this is going to happen this time. And I went, fuck. It did. I also bought some cat food and a pig ear for the dog, and then some wet food for Christmas to just have something different. It's December 19th. This is what I wore all day long. A flannel, if you're not watching the video, and you're obviously not. A flannel, a white shirt, a black and white flannel, a white shirt, and black pants, what's it called? Chinos. And I was warm. It's ridiculous. Everybody else was bundled up in giant jackets. Remember that we suffered. That's a song from, I suffered for like 2 seconds. Somebody farted. Jesus. This is what happens with animals. It's just wafted over here. I know I've mentioned this before, but there's an air purifier that is like right there by Maverick's food. And sometimes when I'm about to feed him, it'll just kick in the high. And I'll go, what? Why are you farting like that immediately? And then it's just like turning on. What was I doing? Oh, Remember That We Suffered. It's a song from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Show I own. Anyway. What's going on? I'm watching a bunch of Christmas movies. I have a list of Christmas movies that lives on my Google Keep that I made last year because I just didn't know which ones to watch. And I hadn't touched it since last year. I did not add anything to it, but I did do some rearranging. Here, I think I'll share it. I'll share my list. No, I won't do that. It's too much. But we have regular stuff on there. And then we have some new movies that I just really like. Now you know you'll people say Elf, blah blah blah, Jingle All the Way, blah blah blah, Muppet Christmas Carol. Okay. I also threw Scrooged on there. Also, yesterday I did a double feature of the Muppet Christmas Carol and Scrooged. Usually I would not have two movies that have the similar premise of the Christmas Carol, but they are so divergent. I think they both work well together. And this year I'm trying something new and pairing them up. Anyway, let me bounce off of that really quick and get into the new movies that I have on here that I'm not saying they're classics, but they are movies that I do enjoy. Family Switch on Netflix is a movie that I just really liked the first time I saw it, and the second time I saw it, I was like, this is still so funny to me. Klaus is a new movie that I enjoyed again on Netflix. It's an animated tale, and I think it tells a very sweet story, and I just really enjoy it. 8-Bit Christmas is so funny. I laugh at every single joke, and when you get to the end, I'm just, my eyes are just welling with tears. Let's see. I do have Spirited on here. Unfortunately, it is an Apple TV only movie. They just started selling it this year. So, but if you buy it on Vudu or anywhere else, you don't get the two special features that it has. And if you buy it on Apple TV, you get the two special features. Same thing happened with F1. Unfortunately, you can only get on Apple TV or Apple movies. So when I bought the Blu-ray, lo and behold, or the 4K Blu-ray, excuse me. When I bought the 4K Blu-ray, when I bought the 4K Blu-ray, that's where it was. That's where it had to live. And then, The Night Before is also, I will say this with so much certainty, it is probably my favorite Christmas movie. On Christmas Eve, whether I am single or whether I am dating somebody, I watched The Night Before and Office Christmas Party back to back because they are just loud and crazy, and usually I'm the only one in this apartment complex. One Christmas, I've been here for 6 years. One Christmas, when I had Nova, God rest her soul, the alarm, the fire alarm was going off so much. Like in the month of December, I'll say it went off like 3 times. And December like 21st or 22nd, it was very cold outside. It was one of the few cold Christmases we have here in the South, because there's too often am I wearing like gym shorts outside, which I don't do. Anyway, and it was very cold, and then the alarm went off, and most of the people that not only live in Atlanta but also in this neighborhood, I think happen to be expats. Like they aren't from probably even Georgia, but like the city of Atlanta, they just all leave and they all go someplace. And I know I'm making a very broad statement, but it's crazy, like like how people just like go go away for weeks, and then they come back, and I was like, oh, you're not from here. Anyway, and it was like December 21st, 22nd, and the alarm went off, and I remember, because during that month, like the first 3 times it went off, everybody was outside for however long we had to be outside, and then that happened, and I was the only person in the entire building, and it was going off for 15, 20 minutes at a time. And I remember staying outside, and Nova's meowing at me, and I'm just, and she's in her bag, obviously. And I'm just like, where is everybody? Crazy. Oh, and Krampus. I put Krampus on this list. And A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. I feel like I should pair a Very Harold and Kumar Christmas closer to Night Before and Office Christmas Party, but I don't like it that much. I like to save the movies I really like towards the end. And I try to end Christmas, like the movie watching, on Christmas Day, with A Christmas Story and A Christmas Story Christmas, A Christmas Story Christmas, that's brand new. Yeah. Okay, cool. I will also watch a very Jonas Christmas movie and oh, what fun. I don't have high expectations, but there weren't a lot of Christmas movies this year. Last year and the year before, I feel like there were Christmas movies. In the same way that there weren't a lot of Halloween movies this year, or horror movie. Yeah, Halloween. There weren't a lot of horror movies. Huh. Mostly because last year I did a horror movie a day. Yeah, because it's 2025. I did a horror movie a day in October, and there were not even stuff that was just new to me. There were maybe like 5 or 6 brand new horror movies. Oh, Smile 2 is so good. I love Smile 2. And Trap is so good. I like Trap. Trap is fun. I don't think it's a horror movie, though. Oh, The Last Voyage of Demeter. I fell asleep during that. House of Spoils. Yeah. That was the last one I watched? Jesus Christ. Oh, The Strangers Chapter 1. That movie fucking blew. All right. Let's get into the final stories of the year. I think I might take the next 2 weeks off. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter. It's written by Scott Feinberg and Alex Weprin. Oscars bolt from ABC to YouTube starting in 2029. I know I've said a lot about Warner Brothers and Netflix, and I know as a creative, I've been on what may be perceived to be the wrong side of the bidding discussions between Paramount. Well, excuse me, just the sale of Warner Brothers in general. In order for, I'm not even going to defend it, but in short, in order for Warner Brothers to even continue, they have to sell themselves, and I'd rather it go to, again, I'm quoting myself, the lesser of 3 evils. I don't want it to be sold. Anyway, I'm not defending myself from anybody, but this is just, I record this show and I think about this a lot. I think about this business shit a lot because I'm an entertainment business news person. So my work laptop is up here. That's why I keep reaching out and like just jiggling. I'm online. The Oscars have been with ABC since 1976, and this move to YouTube in 2029 will last through 2033. Let's take a look at it from YouTube's perspective. YouTube is the biggest entertainment platform in the world. Every single person on this planet, with the exception of probably Russians and North Koreans, has access to YouTube. And I guess China too, like a lot of, like I guess like they block a lot of internet stuff over there. Anyway, people, but what I'm getting at is people around the world, probably even in space, probably even in at the edge of the galaxy, have access to YouTube. And the Oscars, which is still fighting the Oscar so white, accusations of the past 10 years, or, it's been a couple of times in the past 10 years. And just the lack of people watching traditional linear television in general. It's been, why are you coming over here? It's been very tough. Yes, I see you. It's been very tough for them to, I guess, continue and get viewership and traction on a linear platform. It's on a broadcaster. Hold on. I'm talking in YouTube's defense and the move defense, but it's not something I want. This move will help them get more eyes, and it'll probably get them more advertisers, and it'll probably allow them to do a lot more dumb shit. When I think about an award show on YouTube, I think about the Game Awards, which I discussed last week. And, while that is a very professional broadcast, it's not as highfalutin or buttoned up or professional or formal rather, as the Oscars are, or even the Academy Awards. My concern is when a show like this goes to YouTube, it's going to lose the luster and the meaning. The Game Awards don't hold as much meaning. First of all, awards are silly, but they do help people, and they help the people behind the projects. They help projects to help the people behind the projects, and they help people really differentiate, what should be lauded, what should be celebrated. And yes, there are some movies and shows and songs and everything else, art, whatever, that is not getting recognized, but it's nice to have just this kind of jumping off point. There are issues with the Oscars where, this just, we don't need to see any more slave movies or Holocaust movies or movies about women suffering. On the other end, I don't want to see Spider-Man 4 nominated for an Oscar. I do want to see Avatar nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, baby. And you know what? Suicide Squad is an Oscar winner for costuming. I will never forget that. And I think that's very funny. So this move, ABC will have the 100th edition of the show. I believe 101st, maybe. But now 2 billion people around the world are going to be able to watch YouTube and even YouTube TV broadcasts of this. As part of the newly inked deal, YouTube will broadcast not only the Oscar ceremony itself, which generated $150 million in revenue for the Academy during the fiscal year that ended on June 30th, the vast majority via the TV rights deal with Disney, but also a significant amount of related content. There'll be the red carpet pre-show, behind-the-scenes, in-show content, Oscar nominations announcement, the Governor Awards, at which the Academy presents honorary Oscars and occasionally the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award and the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award, the Oscars nominees luncheon, the Student Academy Award ceremony, the Scientific and Technical Award ceremony, the Academy member and filmmaker interviews, film education programs, podcasts, and way more. That is a lot of stuff. That's a lot of quote unquote content that's going to be available, presumably on the Film Academy's YouTube channel, where people have access to it and can watch all that stuff. We've seen a ratings decline to the lowest lows in 2021 of 10.4 million and from the highest highs of 43.74 million in 2014. And it's kind of leveled out in 2025 with 19.69 million. However, this is going to be brand new reach for them. Now, for ABC, is this a real loss? We only were able to see the out of all this stuff, out of the 10 things I counted, plus the more, out of the 10 things I counted on my hand, plus the more, the only things that were ever televised were, an hour, maybe an hour and change of red carpet arrivals, and then the show. This is going to really turned the Oscars into IP, which is which is crazy. For Disney, the Oscars has been a key part of the sizable portfolio of live events, but also an expensive and depreciating asset. Earlier this year, Disney's window to exclusively negotiate for the Oscars lapsed, in part, sources say, because the company was unwilling to overpay for property that is not a moneymaker it once was. They did the same thing for baseball. They did the same thing for baseball. Yes, baseball was probably the biggest thing that on ESPN, they more or less lost. But then they came back, and they also now have some baseball games for the next couple of years. I wonder if this will also allow for that, or they maybe want to be able to be like a partner when it comes to airing the Oscars. If people don't necessarily want to watch it on YouTube, like, hey, we also simulcast on ABC. I don't know, maybe. This is such a strange move, and this is where television is going. So We have to get used to this. This is where television streaming is heading towards. And there's I mean, this is where television is heading towards. There's no way that we can come back from this. There's no turning around. In the same way that I believe I saw a headline today that said Hideo Kojima, who's a video game developer, he did all of Metal Gear and now he's doing Death Stranding, said there's no going back from AI, and there's no going back from what Netflix wrought. Not just Netflix. Hulu had streaming first, I believe, right? I don't know. It was free. Let's go on to the next story. This comes from Variety, written by Brian Stahlberg. CBS News says Bari Weiss's town halls will continue with sponsor despite rough start. It's last Saturday, there was a live, I don't know if it was live, there was a Bari Weiss hosted town hall featuring Erica Kirk. Oh, God. That aired at 8 p.m. It is Saturday at 8 p.m. for a new show. Means that they don't expect a lot of viewers, but the fact that it aired, period, is just frustrating all the same. Bari Weiss, again, is a woman who is properly disliked across all of news media. Probably Jake Tapper probably fucking loved her. Or write a book about Biden having cancer together. I don't like Jake Tapper anymore. Anyway, she sat down with Erica Kirk and they're spouting nonsense, and now she's going to be talking to other people in front of audiences with, who all believe in the same stuff over and over again. She's going to talk to J.D. Vance. She's going to talk to Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO. She's going to talk to Maryland Governor Wes Moore. They're all going to do their own town halls. There's going to be debates with Isabel Brown and Harry Sisson, Ross Douthat and Steven Pinker and Liz Plant and Allie Beth Stuckey. If you don't know a lot of those names, a lot of those people are shitty people. I'll say this. Ross Douthat is a smart person who sometimes writes smart things. But he is a right-leaning person who often, he's a right-leaning person who does not agree on a lot of things with other people. So what a stupid like generalization to put out there. That's what it is. The way that Bari Weiss, this is unfortunate because she is falling into the same trepanations that Ted Sarandos of Netflix, that David Zaslav of Warner Bros. Discovery, that Bob Iger of Disney have all fallen into, in that they all make themselves the topic of discussion. People should not know who Ted Sarandos is or David Zaslav. Those two people should not be A, walking the red carpets of award shows, and B at award shows. Ted Sarandos should not be in the studio. In fact, it's so funny that people are lauding the studio and then, Seth Rogen's, we love it. But then he has on people like Ted Sarandos and gives them lines and does this and that. And then Ted Sarandos goes and buys Warner Brothers. And then you come out and say, Netflix shouldn't own Warner Brothers. AMC should. I don't believe in God. My wife and I don't have kids and we never will. There's a lot of hypocrisy going around. Myself included. But we should not know who these people are. And with what Bari Weiss is doing, she's turning into somebody who she always wanted to be. and she's doing it with ill-gotten gains in that she's been awarded CBS News from writing her Substack, from after leaving jobs where she felt like she was the outlier, when in fact, you're just not good at what you do. Bari Weiss, you suck. You're a bad person. You like to play the victim, and you're a 4. Oh my God. And then she surrounds herself with other people who she deems that think like her and that have viable things to talk about or write about, when in actuality they are all the same type of bad writer. Oh my God, I read through some of the stuff that Bari has written, and I skimmed through some of the shit that's been on that Substack. It's not good. Oh my goodness. This is my biggest issue with people who are self-made reporters, who go into journalism, who write. This is across the board. This is everywhere from Bari Weiss's little Substack to little is fucking successful, I guess, to CBS News, to CNN, to Fox, to NBC, to every to local news. Every single one of these things. People writing little YouTube 40-minute videos or whatever the fuck they're doing. I'm not saying it's everybody, but a lot of people, especially when they're self-made, a lot of these people write exactly the same. And I see it, and I noticed it a lot in video game reviewers or tech reviewers who privy themselves as good writers. When in reality, you're all, and I almost said actuality again, you're all using the same words, the same language, the same verbiage, the same tenses, and it becomes a homogenous way of speaking. I should not be watching CBS Mornings or The Today Show or CNN News Central or Morning Joe, and common internet speak has slipped in where common internet speak has slipped into what an anchor says. I should not hear the phrase, "What even is this?" I don't like that. Have a little bit of decorum. Every news show should be like PBS NewsHour. Dry. Boring. Oh my goodness. It's only because I read a lot and I'm seeing people just speaking in half sentences. It happens a lot with news coverage too. You'll hear and I slip into it too, and you'll hear me correct myself, but you'll hear like Avatar 3 is coming out, really good movie, made over the course of 4 years. James Cameron, and like it's just ending. Let's elaborate. Let's move on. These town halls don't need to exist, is what I'm saying. Fuck these town halls. We don't want to. News should be, if anything, just right up the middle and so goddamn boring. I say it all the time. News should be that just boring meal, a chicken breast, broccoli, brown rice. That's what it should be. Now I'm not averse to getting a lot of wonderful, enjoyable. Hold on, I gotta just close this. Yeah, I just closed the MacBook. I'm done. And now I'm not averse to getting the wonderful, enjoyable, delicious meal, but it's got to come with like the trade-offs cannot be too dire. It's got to come with some type of substance. All right, let's move on. This one comes from the New York Times, and it's written by Lauren Hirsch and Brooks Barnes. Warner Brothers says Ellison's misled shareholders and takeover bid. It's official. Warner Brothers has rejected the Paramount bid. In fact, the Paramount counter bid, I guess, the hostile takeover. In fact, before the weekend was over, Jared Kushner's, who was part of the bid for Paramount, for Paramount's bid to take over Warner Brothers, Jared Kushner's firm dropped out. There's a lot of questioning regarding the three Saudi wealth funds that were also part of the bid, as well as Larry Ellison. I mean, see, when you have, and I have to stop saying when you have people like Larry Ellison, who's a big Trump fan, and Bari Weiss, who's a big Trump fan, and David Ellison, who's a big Trump fan, taking over broadcast news that is CBS News, and then they're also trying to take over CNN, there's a lot of missing pieces there when it comes to fair and objective. Warner Brothers Discovery is finally stepping up and going against the Ellisons, urging shareholders to reject their hostile takeover offer and saying the Ellisons have, quote, consistently misled them. We've gone over this entire thing. Paramount wanted them. Warner Brothers eventually said, okay, we're up for sale. Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix went into the ring for one round, and then there was a second round, and then Netflix won with $83 billion. A couple of days later, Paramount came back with a $108 billion hostile takeover bid. In between all of that, David Ellison is having a hissy fit, throwing a hissy fit, saying, it's not fair. You like Netflix, and there it's going to be a monopoly. Either way, it's going to be a monopoly, no matter what happens. Warner Bros. Discovery defended its sale process on Wednesday, arguing the Netflix deal offers shareholders a better return than the one provided by Paramount. Warner said its sale process was, quote, full, transparent, and competitive. The company said it held dozens of calls and meetings with Paramount, including 4 in-person meetings and meals between Warner Bros. Discovery's chief executive, David Zaslav, and one or more of the Ellisons. David Ellison, Paramount's chief executive, has been backed by his father, the billionaire technology giant Larry Ellison. Zaslav told the Warner Bros. Discovery board that the Ellisons said he would receive a compensation package worth several $100 million if a deal was reached. According to a legal filing Warner submitted on Wednesday, David Zaslav told the board that he had, quote, informed the Ellisons that it would be inappropriate to discuss any such arrangements at the time. Either way, Zaslav is going to get what is referred to as a golden parachute. He will, on top of the his salary, and I assume stock, which is also stock options, his cash salary, he's also going to get just so much money that he will more than likely, at the end of selling Warner Brothers to whomever the company that buys it is, be it Netflix or Paramount Skydance, he will be a billionaire at the end of that. At the end of this, I don't understand how a company like Paramount expects to buy Warner Brothers as a whole, not just including the studios and the game category and the HBO Max, but also the T-nets and the cable networks. Cablers is what I refer to them as. That's not a joke. It's the cablers. That's what we said when we were at CNN and Cartoon Network. We referred to the cable networks as the cablers. And then older people would say T-nets because you're talking about Turner. You're talking about TNT. You're talking about TBS. You're talking about True TV. Anyway, I don't understand how they would plan on owning and running this company and not seeing themselves as a giant conglomerate. I did see a headline that said if this deal with Netflix goes through, then Netflix will have higher than Disney's 18% of the streaming market or whatever, which is crazy. But also, this, regardless of what happens, there's going to be redundancies. Netflix's, HR team of 16 people or however many people that they have is going to probably be favored over Warner Brothers team of 20 people, and they'll be let go. It's all garbage. It's all garbage. Hey, speaking of Warner Brothers, this comes from The Wrap. It's written by Corbin Boyles. Starz placed $25 billion bid for all of Warner Bros. Discovery's cable networks. They also bid for 20% of WBT Studio stream business. Starz is going out like, hey, we have money too. Starz, if you don't know, recently split from Lionsgate. I believe Lionsgate is doing well stock-wise, and I believe Starz is not. I don't exactly know. But this was first reported by Puck. Starz was the dark horse contender for an asset most companies bidding on the entertainment company were not interested in. Warner Bros. Discovery revealed in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission that a previously undisclosed company, labeled C Company in the filing, put in a $25 billion all-cash bid on its November 20th deadline. It also proposed a 90-day exclusivity period, which Netflix, Paramount, Skydance, and Comcast, labeled Company A in the filing, did not. Eventually, the bid was, quote, not actionable at the time, and Warner Bros. Discovery just went on with the top three bidders November 22nd. I think that would have been, that'd be an interesting move for Starz, which after separating from Lionsgate is now more or less just a streaming platform and cable network. I don't know what else Starz owns, but turning into a cable channel provider and then, probably bulking up the Starz streaming platform with the likes of Cartoon Network shows and CNN and TNT and TBS and True TV stuff would make it an interesting, still niche place to go, in the same way that AMC Plus and other streaming platforms of the same ilk are very niche, as opposed to Disney Plus and Netflix and Paramount Plus and HBO Max, which swing for and Prime Video, which swing for the fences and aim to get up everybody. Star CEO Jeff Hirsch previously told The Wrap that he wanted his company to, quote, be additive to networks he believed were too linear focused in a digital age. Now, Starz reported a $53 million loss in its third quarter, missing Wall Street expectations, and revenue dropped 8% to $320.9 million. It reported a loss of 130,000 U.S. subscribers for a total of 17.5 million, driven mostly by linear subscribers cord cutting. Linear subscribers also dropped by 240,000 to 5.717 million, while it saw a streaming increase of 110,000 U.S. subscribers for a total of 12.3 million. I think this would be a good move. If not getting the T-Nets and the other cable assets, it'd be interesting for them to pick up things that aren't necessarily as big. And as I'm reading here, Starz is interested in buying the A&E Global Media company, which is in charge of Lifetime and the History Channel. But these merges are what's ruining the industry and really creating the lack of jobs for people. So, maybe not. And finally, this is the last story of the year. This comes from Tony Maglio's at The Hollywood Reporter. Nearly 92% of the top scripted streaming series come from white creators. UCLA's diversity streaming report is back. The Diversity in Hollywood Hollywood Diversity Report presents streaming television in 2024 is back. We've got 91.7% of the top scripted shows on streaming having white creators, which is even more granularly. 78.9% have white male creators, and not all of them are Taylor Sheridan. Anyway, it's I didn't say that. That was from the thing. I did the fake laugh though. This study from UCLA looks at 224 scripted series across the 250 top television programs. So that will include your Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers, white. That will include, I don't know. What is that show? That will include Task, which I assume is a white created show. It's the diversity is tough for this industry, and to put people, diverse voices in charge and keep them in charge is something that companies a lot of times don't go with. I think it's kind of like this when you're applying for a job, and whether I have 10 years of experience or someone 10 years younger than me has 5 months of experience, sure, they could just want to go with that person because they are cheaper, but they also probably want to go with that young, presumably white person, male, because for any other reasons besides hiring a black male. But again, that could just be me putting on my feelings of how these companies friggin' hire. Of those 27, of the 224 shows, 27 had Black, Indigenous, and people of color, I will not be saying BIPOC, creators. 49 had a female creator, and 2 did not have a clearly identifiable show creator. Okay, because there's not really executive producers in a sense of rule. Okay. I thought they were trying to be like, we don't say gender. It's a largely white industry, and getting people in front of and behind the camera is not often a big move for companies, for a Netflix, for a Discovery, for Disney, whatever. I wish companies would want to do that, even though they say they do. I wish they would push more for it. I'm sure that a lot of these shows are great. A lot of these shows aren't. But wouldn't it be fun just to try? Women in leading roles slipped from 39% last year to 34.3%, and just 8.3% of the top shows featured women of color as leads. Coincidentally or not, 4 of 5 leads were white men, pretty much exactly in line with the white male creators stat. I think about this all the time. If at any point in a movie and a TV show, you write in the line, "Get your white male ass over here," then fine. There should be a white male character. But other than that, you could have an Asian dad and a Latino mom and a couple of black kids. And you could establish and say, this is our family, and that would be it for me. I'd be like, great, that's the family. I don't need to know anything else. We keep reinforcing these ideas that shows and movies have to look exactly how they once did in the past. That, what was what's that Christmas movie with Eddie Murphy? And let's see, Christmas movie. Candy Cane Lane. Candy Cane Lane, when that came out in 2023, I was excited to watch it. And then when I watch it, they have the black couple, they have the Latino couple, they have the white couple. And I'm just thinking, why does it have to be this way? It doesn't. It truly, sincerely does not. It is. You don't have to be put into these cookie cutter elements. We can be different. Especially if a movie is like a sci-fi movie. It doesn't, or a sci-fi TV show. We don't have to, if a movie's a sci-fi TV show, it doesn't have to be what we prescribe it to be. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be what we normally prescribe it to be. It can be anything we want it to be. All right, that's it. I'm done for the year. Listen, if you like what you heard here. No, I'll say this. What an excellent year for entertainment media. The business side really wavered, unfortunately. It's going to take a lot of changes in order to right the ship that is the entertainment industry. I want to see diversity. I want to see the AI just kind of be pushed aside. The actors and the producers that have voices should use them. And I just recorded Late Night Lately, where I did lambaste Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel for not writing jokes or telling jokes and just having their audiences clap to everything and Jon Stewart to everything that he's saying. But in the end, I am glad that they're using their voices to voice dissent against the current presidential administration. And I think that the louder that those people get, and the louder that we get, and the louder that other people in the entertainment industry get, is very important. And to keep all of that going, and not to when some little shit happens, sometimes you gotta let that shit go. Or go even harder. But it's very important that we don't just let Netflix own everything. We don't just let Universal Music Group say, hey, let's use some AI to make songs. We go see every movie in theaters, whether we're interested or not. I understand money is a factor. I don't have any money, and yet I'm going to go see Avatar 3 in Dolby Atmos on Christmas Day, and I'm spending the $22 fucking dollars. Unfortunately, I spent to go see Wicked. I spent my last $5 certificate. Oh no, I think I earned another one because I spent $5 there again. Anyway, whatever, who cares? But we have to keep pushing and we have to keep fighting, and it's very important that that we continue this industry, because it is not just a place to escape. Music and television and painting and all this shit and video games is not just a place to escape. It's a place to remind ourselves to be grounded, or to have great imaginations, or to just live in this world where we're so fucking lucky to wake up every goddamn morning and eat Trader Joe's JoJo's and buy candy canes and go see Avatar 3 at 9 a.m. on Christmas Day. You know, when people are with their families, I'll be seeing Avatar 3. I'll work out for 3 hours and then I'll go see Avatar 3. Thank you to all the comedians and producers and writers and actors and all that shit. All those people who appeared on this show. Hopefully we'll get twice as many next year. I've already sent out a lot of emails. Do you think anyone's responded? Some people have responded. I'll say that. If you want to see, thank you for listening. If you want to see every interview I've pretty much ever done, it's on cpluscomedy.com. It's a brand new website that came out several months ago. What it lacks for in looks, it makes up for in stuff to fucking look at and listen to and read. Go there to see excess episodes of News Time, and it is coming back next year. It's on the calendar. It's on the schedule. Everything's ready to go. I just have to have ideas and I have to write it down. If you want to see all the interviews, go to YouTube, cpluscomedy.com. You can see the written interviews. The archive is here. The videos are here. If you want to listen to all the podcasts, They're all there as well. If you want to see video version of the interviews, go to youtube.com/C plus comedy, where you can see video version of this show as well as the other podcasts, Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs podcast. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead, do everything. Follow us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Not Twitter. TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at C plus comedy. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you again to the following people: Sally Ann Holm, Mike Kaplan, Tiffany Haddish, Ben Katzer, Gabby Gutierrez Reed, Josh Donovan, Fabrizio Capano, Jim Tooze, Julie Seibaugh, Jennifer Irwin, Felix Wolf, Jeremy Alder, Jocko Sims, Gabe Malika, Melissa Roxborough, Matthew Davis, Andy Woodall, Alexander Hogue, the cast of The Hunting Party, JJ Bailey, Mo Collins, the cast of Night Court, Matthew Broussard. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.